Welcome to this month's PSA with Chief Burgard. Welcome back, Chief.
Thanks, Allie.
This PSA is being recorded in the month of March, and we had talked before we went on camera, and we would like to talk about ice safety at this time of the year.
Yes, absolutely.
So black ice is normally a saying that you don't go on black ice. But this year, with the freezing temperatures we had, it actually was dark, but it was thick.
Yeah, odd year for ice quality, no doubt, and not a good judge just by color, as you mentioned. So the freeze-thaw cycles that we had, some of the really cold weather that we had when there was no snow on top, made some very good, hard, thick ice. But now with the rain that we're having right now and the warm temperatures that we've been having, no guarantees on what the ice quality or thickness is. Especially with a lot of the bodies of water being spring-fed, there's no good way to know without measuring the actual thickness, which requires going on the ice. So we're asking everyone to be very safe when they go out and venture onto the ice. If you don't know, ask. If there's somebody else out that had been on the ice, someone in the surrounding area, find out what it is, especially before taking any equipment on the ice. Most of the ice shanties have been pulled off by now. Very few ATVs, UTVs out on the ice. We're asking to take extreme caution before venturing out.
Now, a lot of people that are fishing still are building planks and walkways because the shoreline is starting to go. Is this something that, I mean, people have been doing this for years, but they're really, like you had said, have no idea how thick the ice is till they put that auger through?
Yeah, for sure. It's always a risk, right? People do what they have to get out and enjoy the sport, right? A lot of people do enjoy ice fishing, but that extreme caution is needed. If you check the news historically, sometimes there's chunks of ice in big bodies of water that break away. So knowing what the ice thickness is, asking somebody else, maybe there's a group of fishermen that get together that talk about what the ice quality is, and knowing that before you go. If you know that it's safe, you're out there the day before, things can drastically change overnight. So knowing what that is before you go out is key.
Okay. If someone would fall through the ice, what type of safety tips can you give them?
Good. So having some kind of PFD on, a personal flotation device, is key this time of year. The cold water can take your breath away instantly and makes you breathe very shallow, and the cold water will make all of your extremities function very slowly. So grabbing onto something is very difficult. A lot of fishermen should carry the picks. The Pick of Life is one brand name, but any kind of ice pick. And they should be threaded through your jacket so they dangle ready to grab onto, because if you do break through the ice, digging into your jacket pockets to find those picks, those awls, is almost impossible. So have them threaded through, ready to go, so you can help pull yourself onto the ice, and then continually kick with your feet until you're up onto stable ice. Once you're on the ice, it's making sure you don't try to stand up or kneel again, because you just broke through some thin ice. So staying flat, spreading out your body surface area as much as you can, and then crawling to good, more stable ice before you get up. Yelling for help is key. Try to get someone else coming for you for help. And then if you're the one that's on shore nearby and you hear somebody calling for help, make sure you call 911 before you go. If you don't get us coming and now you go through, well, now there's another rescue to be made. So someone needs to call 911, someone needs to get the fire department going, but having those two pieces to help save yourself are key as well.
When the fire department would arrive for an emergency like that, what type of equipment would you be deploying?
Good question. So all of our rescuers are going to wear PFDs, those personal flotation devices, so that we don't become a risk ourselves. We also wear something called a cold water rescue suit. It can do different colors, red and yellow. Sometimes you see some oranges, but those are dry suits meant to keep our rescuers dry so that they keep the cold water out. Typically they're encompassed all the way up to just, you see their faces poking through, and that's about it, to keep us warm and insulated. And it's also a flotation barrier for us as well, so that when we get into the water with you, so that we can stay floating. We also have, it looks sort of like a boat, a big yellow inflatable device that we can push out to someone that has fallen through, and then we can pull somebody up and onto that flotation device and get them out of that situation. We also have rings, floating rings, that we can put over you with a rope to help pull you out. So a lot of different tools that we have to help get people out of thin ice or into cold water.
My final question is, if someone would fall through the ice, and hopefully people are being smart about it and not walking out there, they get themselves off the ice and now they need to get to their vehicle. Is this a 911 or should they try to handle this themselves, or is it best to call for the help?
Good question. So hypothermia is a very big risk this time of year. Although it may be sub 40s and the air temperature feels okay now, that water is very, very close to freezing. It's hovering right around 32. There's ice on top of it. You can go hypothermic very quickly from a very short exposure in the water. You should be seen immediately just to rule out that you are okay, especially if there's any other kind of health conditions that are going on with that patient. So calling 911 is always the appropriate answer, right? Get an ambulance, come out, get a real quick medical evaluation, make sure that you're okay, not that you go home and try to tough it out and find out that you're actually hypothermic and you can't operate your car while you're trying to drive home.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming in today.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. And to our viewers, as always, thank you for watching.